Hey, you guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to another episode of Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, the weekly podcast devoted to all things spirituality and self improvement. I am so delighted you're here with me today. Today, we're going to be talking about a topic that came to me as I was just scrolling through TikTok. A lady came on my screen and she said something that I found so profound. And I just knew I had to do a whole episode about it because I know that it definitely applied in my own life. She said that women were never taught to receive love. And that hit me like a ton of bricks because in my own life, I've definitely seen that to be true. And I know that many of you that are out there listening to this right now probably also feel the same way. Maybe you didn't realize it. But in your own life, if you've ever felt like love was difficult for you, that it was hard to receive compliments or gifts or people wanting to help you, today I'm going to explain why. And we're going to talk about what are some things we can do in order to learn to start receiving love. Because this is the one thing that I think is the most difficult in this whole healing process is that we're having to unlearn all of the things that we've been conditioned to believe is true just through existing, right? Our parents, they teach us certain values, society teaches us certain values, and it's not even most of the time on purpose. It's that we're picking up these things because we're existing. We're just in this realm where these things are happening, and it consciously and unconsciously teaches us different lessons. And so women, for the most part, and maybe I'm not speaking to every woman, but I know for myself and for many of you out there, we learned that we had to earn love and that love was conditional. And I know that that was definitely true with my own mom. And I love her to death. I know that she did the absolute best that she could. So I'm not blaming her in any way because I'm sure that her parents did the same thing to her. But I do know that I was shown the most love when I was behaving in a manner that she wanted me to behave, right? Like I was being obedient or I was doing chores or I was doing whatever. And I think that a lot of times, and I'm sure that I've passed on this own lesson to my own daughter, because there are times that I sit back and I think about that. And our children want to please us, right? I know I always wanted to make my mom happy or make my dad happy. I wanted to please them. But in that way, we were learning that if you want your parents to love you, and I'm not saying that they didn't love us if we weren't perfect or anything like that. I don't think that's true. I think that a lot of children take on this survival instinct that if we want to receive the love from our parents, we have to earn it, right? There are things we have to do. And as a parent myself, I remember thinking this the other day, just there's nothing that my kids could do that would make me not love them. I might be disappointed in choices they make, may not always agree with them, but there's nothing that they could do that I would ever turn my back on my child and say, I don't love you. And I don't think that if you ask my children if that were the case, I don't think they might say that because maybe they think in some way that they have to do something that would make me happy or please me. Because I felt that way about my parents. Like, oh, I definitely have to go to college. I need to do this. I need to do that. Do I think that they felt that way? No. But I think that growing up, again, just because of the things that you see and you witness as a child, right? When you do something for your parent and it makes them very happy, we associate that with earning their love, earning their trust, all kinds of things. But I think as women, not that men don't feel this way as well, but I feel like that society for sure places this expectation on women that we have to be all the things, right? We have to be the homemaker. We have to go to work. We have to do it as when you're in it and you're raising children and you're working. It feels like all the things, the whole world and the responsibility is placed on your shoulders. And that's a tough, tough situation. It's really stressful. And I feel like a lot of women feel like we have to be perfect or we have to do what other people want us to do. in order to earn or to receive love. And maybe you haven't never thought about this before. I know until I saw that TikTok, I never really associated that. Like I didn't really think about it, that we were never taught to receive love. I think in a way I kind of knew, right, that there was a problem in that area of my life, but I wrote a whole book about it, right? Beautifully Broken was my story of how I kept picking the wrong person. And it wasn't until I realized, like, I had to look at myself and my own upbringing and how I learned to look at love. And it definitely opened my eyes because I realized that, attachment styles are very important and that I had a very anxious attachment style and I had to go back and look at why. And so maybe you're sitting there listening to this and thinking the same thing that, oh, maybe I do have a difficult time receiving love. And one of the ways this shows up too is just accepting help from others or accepting compliments. I was always that person that if someone gave me a compliment, I would have to compliment them right back instead of just saying thank you and moving on. If someone would say, like a fellow teacher might say, oh, I love your dress. And I would say, thank you. I really like your hair or your dress or your whatever. Like I couldn't just receive a compliment without also giving one back. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing because I think it's always a good thing to compliment other people or to say what you like about other people because it makes them feel better. But there's something to not being able to just accept a compliment and just say thank you and let that be and really accept the compliment because maybe someone gives you a compliment and you say thank you, but then you walk away like, I don't know why that person said that because you don't truly believe it and you don't see it. And what I'm here to tell you today is that not being able to receive love the way that you really should without thinking that it's conditional, that's a survival adaptation. Like you learned how to please others because that somehow made you feel safe in your dynamic, right? Like that was your role. I know being a middle child, this is a whole other level of, complexity when you're a middle child. Even though technically I know I'm a twin, I was still a middle child because my brother was 4 years older and my sister, she was 5 minutes younger, but she was also born with partial nerve deafness. And so was treated like the baby because she had physical limitations with her hearing. And so for all intents and purposes, I was a middle child and I took on that role and I was the peacekeeper in the family and I was the go-between and I had to make sure that everyone was getting along. So that added an extra layer. And I feel like in a lot of ways, my being able to keep the peace and make everyone happy and make sure everything was, running smoothly, that added to not being able to receive because I was always the overgiver, right? Like I've got to make sure that so and so's happy and that so and so's happy. And, it's really does become your role and you take that on. And so learning how to receive love requires you to develop new habits and breaking old habits. One of those, of course, is people pleasing, but it also requires you to be able to be comfortable accepting that people want to give to you just for the simple fact that they want to give, or that you can become friends with people without having to give them gifts and shower them with compliments and all of those things. Sometimes people want to be in your life simply because they like you and you add value by being who you are. But a lot of people don't understand that. And so that they're trying to buy your love with presents. And also, we're going through the 4th of July here. We've got some neighbors who are loving to shoot off fireworks. Anyway, you get the point. People have to shower with you with compliments, with gifts, or they feel like they have to do things for you. That isn't love. Like that's not unconditional love. It's nice if someone wants to do that for you, but that shouldn't be a requirement for you to earn their love. Like we don't have to earn someone's love in that way. True love should be unconditional and you love someone simply for who they are. But many of us have trouble or difficulty receiving that. So how do we work on that? And one of the ways that we work on that is by working on our own internal self-love. Um, you don't have to buy things for yourself in order to love yourself, right? Many of us don't feel that internal self-love because we put everything on ourselves. And when things don't go correctly, we want to blame ourselves. And that internal dialogue is so mean. We beat ourselves up on the regular for all the mistakes we make. And we need to learn to stop doing that. You're harder on yourself than anybody else could ever be. And one of the ways to learn to start receiving love and being able to accept love is to learn how to stop beating yourself up. I know a lot of people, and I used to be guilty of this too. We think it's funny to make fun of ourselves. Like that's a coping mechanism, right? Like I'm going to make fun of myself and then you can't make fun of me, or I'm the first one to do it. And even though, yes, like sarcasm, that can be funny, you have to be careful because this becomes a coping mechanism. And instead of just joking and whatever, there may be some truth behind what you're saying, and you really feel that you've made mistakes and you're not worthy. We have to fix that. We've got to stop talking badly about ourselves. You have to be your number one promoter, right? Your own PR person, your own cheerleader. You have to learn how to do that. That's an inside job. Oftentimes, too many of us look for validation outside of ourselves, and that's so easy to do. I mean, I'm a teacher. We get a performance review every year, and every few years, they call it a formal one, where the principal comes in and sees 20 minutes of your class. Now, you've been teaching the whole year, right? But they come in for 20 minutes and tell you how you've done and what kind of teacher you are. And anybody would know and be able to tell you that's not enough time for someone to say that you're X, Y, or Z. But this is what we do. Good administrators pop in other times and they know your work and they know that you're a good teacher, but it is what it is. And you're at the mercy of someone else. So we often have so many ways in our lives where we're rated and judged by everyone else. And so we hold our own value and self-worth in what someone else thinks about us, which is not how it should be. But I understand why we do that. The world is set up in that way, and that we have to review, other people review us. And I've had jobs where you have to review yourself. And honestly, that's even harder. But we have to learn that our own value comes from, and our worth, the fact that we are worthy because we were born worthy. Like there was nothing we had to do to earn it, to be here. We just are. And that's a really difficult thing for some people to come to terms with. So working on that self-love and your own confidence is going to help you. You also have to learn that it's okay to allow people to come in and help you, because sometimes people simply just want to help you. That's who they are. And that's their personality. They love helping other people and they want to do it. And so you have to be okay with allowing that. That's a hard one for me, like just allowing people to come in and help me sometimes, because I feel like I can do it myself, right? My son used to say that when he was a toddler. I'd go to help him down the stairs and he would say, I do it by self. He always wanted to do everything by himself. It drove me crazy. But that is exactly how we end up becoming too independent and not allowing others in. So learning that it's okay to accept help from others, being okay with that. That's a big one. So I wanted to pull some cards because I asked the universe, what do people need to hear in order to help them start to shift this? And you know me, I love guided meditations, and there's so many good ones out there to help you work on self-love. I have a few on my YouTube channel and on my website. There are also some EFT tapping techniques, which I also really enjoy. And I have some, Brad Yates is another one that I always plug because I really enjoy his tapping techniques. Those are on YouTube. EFT, it stands for Emotional Freedom Technique. There's also hypnosis. I do those sessions with people too. And mantras are a good way, journaling, all of that. But I pulled some cards from you from two different decks today to give you some messages to hopefully help you start to work on this. And if you are sitting here listening to this and you identify with it in any way, or you're saying, this is me, I have trouble accepting compliments, I have trouble accepting help, I never really learned how to receive love, then stick with this because we're going to give you some guidance from the universe. So I pulled some cards from Angela Rose's deck. And then years ago, I created my own deck, which is Divine Whispers. And you can still buy this deck on my website. And I pulled some cards from that too. So we're going to see what messages the universe has for you. So the very first thing that came out is confidence. And I love that. And I think it's such a good message because this is really what it has to do with, right? It's all about our own self-love and our self-worth. And it's getting to the bottom of that. And that is it's such a deep rabbit hole that you can go down when you're looking at trying to work on that. So it says confidence comes when we make decisions that feel good to us. The more we practice this, the more confident we feel and we trust in ourselves. So make decisions that feel like a soul yes. And you can't make this up because soul yes card came out as well. So these kind of came out hand in hand. This has a lot to do with boundary setting, and I've done podcast episodes about it before, and you can go back and look at it. But when we say no, we're saying yes to ourselves. So people can guilt you into doing so many things. You have to learn to do things for yourself that make you feel good and say no to things you really don't want to do. The mantra that goes with this card is I trust in myself. And then we have soul yes. It says when we say yes to everything, we run ourselves empty. When you say yes to something, make it a soul yes. Begin to develop a practice of saying yes to the life that feels amazing to you. You will begin to build up confidence and self-empowerment. This means you will also need to say more no's to things that are no longer aligned with you. And I don't know about you, but anytime I say no to someone, I always feel like I have to have a story locked and loaded, right? Like, no, I don't want to do this because blah, 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 blah. You don't have to do that. No is a complete sentence. You don't have to come up with an excuse. You can simply say no. That's a hard thing. You got to get better at practicing it. But the action is let go of the guilt and say no when it feels like a no. No is a complete sentence. And I started doing this more and it gets easier. And I will tell you that it feels so much better when I say no to someone to going and doing something I don't want to do. And instead I have the evening to sit and binge watch trash TV or, good TV or read a book or take a hot, relaxing bath and just pamper myself. It feels so much better. So learn to start saying no because you're saying yes to yourself. The mantra that goes with this card is I have boundaries and only say yes when it feels like a soul yes, which I love. And then we have miracle mindset. So part of not being able to receive, and this is so funny, and this was really a difficult thing for me at first. And I'm learning that when I trust a little bit more and let go a little bit, things just show up for me that I could not explain. But often when we want to manifest things in our lives, we don't actually believe that we're capable of manifesting. And so many times we're blocking our own blessings. And I know you've heard that a lot, but it's true. If you're unable to imagine yourself in the situations you wanted, like being a best-selling author, being a singer in a band, or whatever it is that you want, it doesn't even have to be crazy, being in that home that you want, you're putting a little bit of faith and trust in the universe and saying, okay, I know I deserve this. I don't have to do anything to deserve it. I deserve it. And the universe wants me to have everything I want. Then that energy is shifting. You're not blocking, you're being open to receiving. And so this is a big part. If you're not open to receiving love, you're going to have a harder time manifesting because you're not allowing the universe to show you how much you deserve and how much it loves you and wants to bring you all the things you deserve. So it says, have immeasurable faith and full dedication towards your dream. Our thoughts create our feelings create our actions create our reality. What thoughts would your highest self be thinking, feeling, or doing to live your best life? And then the action that goes with this card is, what is your dream? What do you get lost in time doing? Meditate on this feeling and lean into your dreams. The mantra that goes with this card is, I have faith and trust that my dreams are unfolding perfectly for me. And I love that. And it's hard to see in this camera, but the card is purple. And I do feel like purple is like a really powerful color. Hence, why my hair is purple. But those of you that know me know why it's really purple, but purple is a powerful color. And so maybe start wearing purple, maybe have some amethyst, whatever. But you have a gift to share with the world. I know that many of you think you're just here. And probably one of the saddest things I've ever heard is someone saying, like, I'm just here and my life is just meaningless. It's not. You're not here for no reason. There is a reason you're here, and you are so valued, and your life is meaningful. But what are you going to do with that? Just sitting there and feeling like it isn't, nothing is going to get accomplished. You have a gift, and you need to share it with the world. This is, you have a special divine gift that you are here to give the world. We can be so close to our own genius that we don't see our gifts as special, but they are. What makes you you? How can you bring your natural God-given gifts into the world? The action that goes with this card, and I love this, and I would take time to do this, is brain dump and make a list of all the things you feel passionate about, that you love, and that come natural to you. Name all the things others have said that come naturally to you. Are you kind, passionate, have great people skills? The mantra that goes with this card is, I am uniquely designed and divinely made. It's time to share my gifts with the world. And it is, you are beautifully made. It's time to share your gifts. And I love that. So now I'm going to pull some cards from my deck. And when I was creating this deck, I was thinking of all the messages that I needed to hear. And some of these I still need to hear. And the first one is, have a little faith. And my deck is also purple. So this purple that's coming out is very meaningful. So think about that. It says, the universe is asking you to have faith, my loves. You may not be able to see anything happening in your situation right now. However, the universe is always working behind the scenes on your behalf to bring you what is for your highest good in divine timing. There are a lot of things going on behind the scenes that you don't even know about. There are many players involved in this situation. Therefore, it takes time for the universe to orchestrate everything. You don't have to have all the answers right now, and you don't have to know when or how it's going to happen. Don't give up on your dreams. Your miracles are just around the corner. There's a few mantras that go with this card, and you can say them to yourself. I still do this. I have a list of mantras that I keep. It's just a document in my Google Drive. And I open that up, I say them to myself, and I try to feel powerful when I say them. Like, this is true. This is going to happen for me. Here's some of them that you could say to yourself. I walk by faith, even when I cannot see. I trust that the universe has my back. I trust that the universe is working on my behalf to bring me what is for my highest good in divine timing. You have so many things going on behind the scenes, you don't even realize it. And the next card has to do with boundaries. It's so funny. I mean, it's not a coincidence. I get a topic and then I shuffle the deck, and then this is what comes out. And this is what the universe thinks that you need to hear right now. Stand up for yourself. The universe is asking you to stand up for yourself and your beliefs right now. It's so important that you are true to yourself. I have to say this, when I was writing my first book, my publisher brought me the cover for this book. I told her my idea. My idea was that I wanted the cover to be the Japanese pottery, something to do with that. The Japanese pottery, where when something breaks, they put it back together with this gold paint, like they glue it with the gold paint. And it's made even more beautiful than it was before. And that was my idea, because my book, if you've ever read it, I talk about this idea that we have to be broken open sometimes so that we can be healed and made even more beautiful than before. So she brought me this cover, and it was most hideous cover I'd ever seen. It was bad. I showed it to one of my friends and he was like, yeah, I don't like that. And I told her I don't like this cover. And she had already paid someone. And I had Canva. I made another cover and I sent it to her. I'm like, this would be better than that one. And she kind of resisted at first because she really didn't want me to change the cover. And she relented, she gave in, and she took the idea back to the person who designed it. And they came up with the cover that's there today, which is a much better cover. And I liked it so much better. And she told them, this is what it needs to be. She brought it back to me. And then she said, I'm really glad you didn't give in and that you fought me on that because she said this cover is definitely better. And I do appreciate her so much. She did such a great job publishing my first book. And I really appreciated that because she said, you were right. It's much better. So stand up for yourself. It says the universe is telling you to stand up for your beliefs right now. You know what to do. And it's so important to honor yourself and your beliefs. Stand firm with unwavering conviction. And again, there's a few mantras. It says, when I speak, I do not back away from my truth. I have an opinion. I honor my inner voice. Your inner voice matters. I honor my convictions. My voice matters. So important because it does. And then we have another card about confidence. No coincidence. And it says, have confidence in yourself. The universe is asking you to have confidence in yourself and your abilities today. You have everything you need right now to be successful. Open your solar plexus chakra and know that you are worthy and deserving of everything that you wish to see in your life. Imagine a bright yellow light just above your belly button. This is where your solar plexus chakra is. Now take a moment to breathe in deeply and imagine that yellow light getting brighter and brighter. With each deep breath in, you begin to feel your confidence soar. Have faith in yourself, my love, just as the universe has faith in you. See yourself with the loving eyes of God because He sees you with such adoration. You can do anything you set out to accomplish. And the mantras that go with this card is, I can do anything. I can accomplish all of my goals. I love, accept, and trust myself. That one's a big one. I love, accept, and trust myself. I am worthy. I am confident in all that I do. I love this. And guess what? We have a second card about manifesting. So I really feel like there's a connection here for some of you. The reason you're having so much trouble manifesting, or maybe you're seeing little things trickle in, but not the big things, is because you need to feel worthy of this. And that starts from you working on that self-worth. It says, pay very close attention to your thoughts right now because you are a manifesting machine. Get in alignment with what you want. Be sure to set clear intentions about what you wish to receive and then focus on it with unwavering faith. Know that the universe is working on your behalf to bring you what is for your highest good. Take a little time each day to focus on the things you want. Feel how awesome it would be to have those things, and then send the universe a little gratitude. You will quickly begin to see your dreams take shape. Know that you are so worthy of it all. I had something pop into my head as I was reading this that I feel like I need to share, but I've just in the last few years gotten into gardening. When my brother and I first moved into this house, because he moved in with me at first, and he was the one who wanted to take care of the garden and do all of that. So I never did. So I just let him. And then he moved out, and then I had the garden that I had to take care of. And what I didn't realize was that I loved it and I wanted to do it. And I started growing tomatoes and cucumbers and all the things. And my first couple of years, I was okay at it, but I didn't know all of the things I needed to do, like how much water they needed to have, how much plant food, this, that, the soil. And you start learning more and more of those things. But what it reminded me of is when we first start manifesting, or we're hoping to, we put a little bit of faith into it, right? And we manifest that cup of coffee or that quarter, the thing everybody always starts with. We get a little confidence, but we just keep that small, right? We're like, okay, then we do the next thing and the next thing. But with the gardening, my garden stayed small until I put my trust and faith that if I did the things, if I put in the work, if I watered that every morning and every evening, if I put down the plant food every, so often, I was going to see the results. And I did, but it kept taking constant work on my part, which means me fueling and feeding the things that I needed to do. And with manifesting, it's the same way. Not that you're obsessing over it, but that you have faith and you trust that you're putting in the work and you're going to see the result. And they gave me the gardening analogy. Hopefully that made sense. There's a couple of mantras that go with this card too. It says, I'm deserving of all of my dreams and I'm manifesting them all right now. I know that what I seek is also seeking me. The universe is supporting my dreams right now. I am in complete alignment with my intentions, and I trust that the universe is working behind the scenes on my behalf. I love that because we have to have that faith that the universe is meeting us halfway, more than halfway, but we need to know that what we're doing, you're putting in that work. You don't see it at first, right? With the garden, you see the little leaves come up, but you don't see what's going to happen in a few weeks. And now if you walked out to my garden today, you would see tons of tomatoes and already like so many cucumbers. I'm like going to be drowning in cucumbers. I'm going to have to learn how to make pickles. It's going to be that bad. But that is from putting in that work and having faith that something was going to grow from that. It's manifesting is the same way. And then you have what is stopping you. This is our last card. What's holding you back today? The universe wants you to know that it's time to stop letting people or your own fears keep you stuck. When you're trapped in your intuition, sorry, I read that wrong. When you're tapped into your intuition, you can't make a wrong decision. The only bad decision you can make is not moving at all. What's holding you back today? Summon the courage that I know is deep within you and take the first step today. You've got this. You have everything you need right now to be successful. You are being divinely guided and protected right now. And the mantra that goes with this card is I have confidence in my own ability. I have everything I need to be successful. That doesn't mean I have to know everything. It means that right now, you have what you need to get started. I don't have to have all of the answers today. Oh, it's like I already knew it was coming. I am divinely guided. I am following my intuition. So, there's your message for today. You need to be open to receiving love. And in order to do that, you have to be open to loving yourself deeply and completely, flaws and all, because flaws, that's what makes us interesting, right? Can you imagine? So we just got back from Disney. And that is such a fun place to people watch. You see so many different types of families and people. And it's so interesting and it's fun. If everybody looked the same, if everyone acted the same, life would be immensely boring. There would be nothing new or exciting. You're here because the world needed you. They needed your uniqueness. You add to it. So it's time for you to stop playing small, get out there, shine, and be the badass that you know you're supposed to be. If you want to work with me, I have online courses to help you work on self-love. I have the 10-day intensive self-love course. It's on my website. You can go to my website. The link is in my show notes to go click on it and to work on that self-love. My website is also just my first and last name.com, melissaoatman.com. I also work with people. I have coaching sessions. You can book one session. You can book a group session. There are multiple sessions that you can, a package. That's what I'm looking for. Thank you. Menopause is really difficult right now. Sometimes I can't find words, but package. You can book a package. You can also book healing sessions with me. I do Reiki. I also work with people doing readings, and I do hypnosis with people. So feel free to reach out if you want to, or to book something through my website. I hope that you guys know exactly how beautiful and loved you are, and that you're open to receiving that because you're so deserving. Don't forget to follow me on social media. Please leave a positive review for this podcast. And the greatest compliment you can pay me is to share it with those you think might also benefit. I hope you guys have an amazing week. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.